of SIA India, that's the Satcom Industry Association of India. An association, ladies and gentlemen, which was conceived by the very collective vision of the stalwarts and the luminaries of the Satcom industry of India and abroad, an association which aims to be the unified voice of the industry, taking the issues, the challenges, the interest of its various stakeholders across the huge value chain, across the ecosystem of the satellite communication in India, taking these issues, challenges, interest to the various other parties, to the government, be it the state government, the central government, to the regulatory bodies, to the international bodies, to the policy makers. So definitely a big day for everyone here in India and for the world, as the apex organization of the Satcom industry now is just about to be taking center stage. And I'm sure it stands as a very proud moment for all the people who have been associated with that. So at the very onset, I would like to invite the Director General and the very first Director General of SIA India, and I request him to take center stage to please extend his words of welcome. And someone, ladies and gentlemen, who has played a very important role in the policy and the regulatory framework for more than 30 years. He also has represented India on a lot many international forums. Ladies and gentlemen, the person in personality whom I'm going to be calling and requesting here is Mr. Anil Prakash, the Director General of SIA India. So please, at your respective places also, if you can please put your hands together, a round of applause as I request Mr. Anil Prakash for his first address.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It is a joyous moment for all of us to be for the launching the first ever the Unified Voice of Satcom Industry Association India, Satcom Industry Association. I welcome you all. Thank you very much. I solicit your close cooperation and blessing. Good night.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you another torchbearer and a stalwart of the satellite communication industry. And it's a great honor for SIA India, him to be the president, Dr. Subbarao Poviluri. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Subbarao is a very renowned space entrepreneur, a former employee of ISRO, and as we all know, ISRO is government's primary space agency. Dr. Subbarao has set up two companies in 1993. One was to sell the value-added remote sensing data, and the other, Anand Technologies, to develop avionics for ISRO launch vehicles. Anand Technologies, ladies and gentlemen, participated closely in the Moon and the Mars mission of ISRO by building satellite components. And now SIA India is all set to take the responsibility, to take up the very responsible vision and mission which it has set for itself under the able guidance and leadership of Dr. Poviluri. So thanking him, and as we mark the auspicious inauguration, the soft launch of SIA India, may I request Dr. Poviluri to please light the ceremonial lamp. Simultaneously, may I also request in the hall present Mr. Ravi Ailavadi, the regional representative of Material Global Communications Limited, Mr. Pawan Kapoor, MD and CEO of JV International, Ms. Chitrita Chatterjee, Senior Director Operations SIA India, and Mr. Anil Prakash, Director General SIA India, to please also light the ceremonial lamp. This is as per our Indian traditional customs. May I request Dr. Poviluri to please light the lamp at his place. He's present with us virtually.
Thank you, ma'am.
With the blessings, with the good wishes of everyone that we are having, ladies and gentlemen, the soft launch, the inauguration here of SIA India, which is all ready to cast impressive footprints. This is an Indian tradition. Any work which we begin with the blessings of the Supreme Power of the Almighty. And further, the lamp, which we just lit right now, it also represents the sharing of knowledge. So we have different people coming together towards shaping the satellite communication industry and extending their collective vision towards the growth, towards the involvement of SIA India, which has just now been inaugurated. Thank you everyone. And now it's my honor to be requesting the President of SIA India, the very first President of SIA India, requesting Dr. Subbarao Koviluri for his presidential address.
So thank you very much, ma'am. Dear friends and colleagues, after months of brainstorming, we have been able to turn our vision into a reality. I announce very proudly the formal launch of Satcom Industry Association, SIA India. And thanks to everybody who made it a reality today. With the government of India opening up the sector for the private players, we're already seeing a slew of big businesses coming into the foray to offer satellite communication services. Of course, needless to say, these businesses are all set to offer the best possible services in the smart cities area, supply chain management, internal security, smart grids, disaster management, railways, just to name a very few of these. In fact, very many applications more. The advancements in technology and demand for larger satellite capacity at affordable prices is the goal of the SATCOM industry today. Unfortunately, the timely unlocking the space sector enables tremendous progress in SATCOM industry today in this country. The satellite coverage adds to value to access technologies for 5G, which is important, as you know, which is very, very important for mission critical disaster management and industrial applications where unhampered coverage is a critical input. This technology will also, in fact, open up opportunities for the satellite industry as a whole, from connecting base stations in remote areas to complementing the regular network with the satellites to provide 24/7 coverage. As you know, is going to be an integral part of the 5G networks. Needless to say, mobile network operators are starting to gain immensely from this. Under the current government vision to bring the private companies for participating in creating businesses around building launch vehicles and providing launch services, building satellites and providing satellite services and providing space-based services in time is perfect for industry today. And the presence is being felt in each of these arenas in this country, in India today. That enabled because unlocking the entire space sector in this country recently. The vital role that satellite communication system can play cannot be overemphasized for connecting a country like India with its geographical, economic, and cultural diversity, and with a large section of population living in rural, remote, and inaccessible terrains. That's where the satellite industry is also going to play, and SATCOM industry is going to play a dominant role today. The pandemic, unfortunately, which is ailing the country from the past 1 year, has also thrown up the need for improved communication infrastructure to meet the requirement for working from home, online education. In fact, as you see, the last year also shown the tremendous reverse migration with the people working from their homes and from their hometowns, from their villages. This is a great opportunity for SATCOM industry today to provide necessary support in our country to grow in these respective areas. Thus, the opportunities are endless. But along with the massive opportunities, the sector also faces strict regulatory oversight. Therefore, it was felt that there is an urgent need to have a strong body to carry the unified voice of this industry to the government, regulators, international bodies, to carry policy level interventions to ensure success in businesses. In this need that SIA India is set to fulfill, we have a strong advisory committee to help the very robust team of experienced professionals to carry this vision ahead. This is fortunately, we have the entire team in place already. The SATCOM Industry Association is a non-profit body created to represent the interest of the communication satellite ecosystem in India. As a vibrant body, SIA India represents satellite operators, satellite systems, launch vehicles, and ground and terminal equipment manufacturers, as well as application solution providers to the government, regulators, policymakers, and domestic and international standard bodies. As the apex representative body of the satellite communication ecosystem, SIA India is set to present the industry's interest to the highest government levels for policy making and regulatory and licensing matters related. As you know, the SIA India mission is to basically, just briefly touch upon that, to represent the interest of a membership at the highest levels of the government policy in making the policy and dealing with the regulatory issues, to provide advocacy and representation to the government agencies and international and stakeholders and other stakeholders, to create a platform. The objective, one of the main objectives is this: to create a platform for exchange of ideas, brainstorming businesses and business models, application developments, and networking across relevant industries, associations, and international community. To help and support the creation of a conducive business and regulatory environment that maximizes the long-term benefit to the satellite industry at large and end users in India. I have the proud privilege of being the first president of this association. And I take this opportunity to thank the advisory committee for their participation in the multiple discussions that we had that led to the creation of this vibrant association today. I also would like to thank the various partners we have already undertaken to offer due support to our vision. I pray for the success of SIA India and wish the team very best. I also invite to join me in blessings to this venture and its success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Koglari, for your message, and very inspiring one, citing the dynamic and the responsible vision and mission which SI India has set under your dynamic leadership, and also the very importance of this association, the opportune time it is as the government is opening up the sector, and also when we are seeing a lot much people working from home in the wake of especially this pandemic. So huge opportunities lying, and thank you very much once again for your inspiring message and for your leadership. And ladies and gentlemen, it stands as a very happy occasion, and very congratulatory messages have been pouring in. So we would like to cite here some of the messages from our esteemed stalwarts of the industry. We've received a message from Mr. Malcolm Johnson, the Deputy Secretary General of ITU. He's a seasoned information and communication technology executive who has served in multiple senior management positions at ITU. Prior to serving as Deputy Secretary General, he served as the Director of ITU's Telecommunications Standardization Bureau. So let's have a listen in and a view in to this message. Mr. Malcolm Johnson.
Namaste. Very pleased to have this opportunity to join you for the virtual launch of SATCOM India Association this morning.
I think we're not able to hear.
Host, we are unable to hear the message.
Good morning. Namaste. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to join you for the virtual launch of SATCOM India Association this morning. This is an important development for the communications satellite industry in India. It comes at a time when we're seeing an ever-increasing number of satellites being deployed around the world and increasing demand for the valuable spectrum and orbital resources. Satellite help save lives in emergencies, provide critical knowledge about our planet and climate, and enable a range of solutions for digital financial services, better healthcare, and smarter cities. The satellite communications industry has a major role to play in using satellites to accelerate progress in these areas and all the other areas of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Big opportunities lie ahead for the industry, including connecting the unconnected, especially in rural areas. Non-geostationary satellite constellations are very promising, and the ITU World Radio Communication Conference in 2019 paved the way for their deployment. As we look to the future, collaboration will be vital across industries, regulators, governments, regional and international bodies, especially ITU. With today's launch of SIA India, the communications satellite industry in India will speak with one voice. This will be important to strengthen the role of India as a leading force in the global digital economy and as one of ITU's key member states. ITU looks forward to building an excellent relationship with SIA India, and I very much hope to see you joining ITU as a sector member in the near future. I wish you every success in the important work of extending the benefits of SATCOM innovation and technology development to society as a whole. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Malcolm Johnson, for this message. And ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, we've been receiving messages. We have the next message from a very gifted scientist and an accomplished researcher who has more than 4 decades of extensive experience in various fields, both in the basic and applied sciences of defense research. He, ladies and gentlemen, is a pride of India. And apart from being a scientist, he is a rare combination of being an innovator, a technologist, and a visionary. Ladies and gentlemen, the personality in expression is Dr. V.K. Saraswat, Padma Bhushan, Dr. V.K. Saraswat, member Niti Aayog. If you can play the message of Dr. Saraswat, please.
Over the last few years, satellite communications have emerged as an emerging technology to address issues of providing connectivity to rural, remote, and hilly areas in education, health, agriculture, and business. It is heartening to see new age companies and private organizations venturing into the business of satellite communication. With their entry into the highly regulated satellite industry, these organizations will need a strong body to represent their voice to the government and other international bodies. We hope SIA India play its role as a unified voice for the satellite communication industry and help in implementation of the policies. We from Niti Aayog look forward to this new association fulfilling its promise to the industry. We wish the entire team of SIA India and all those behind its formation the very best of success in their endeavor. Over the last few years,
for his blessings and good wishes. And ladies and gentlemen, we also received some written messages, which I would like to read it out for all of you. We have the message from Mr. Rakesh Shashibhushan, the Chairman cum Managing Director of Antrik. He has written, happy to know this new development in the SATCOM front. SATCOM domain is in the process of being deregulated, thanks to the timely action from the Government of India. This is a promising area for business since around 70% of the revenue generated by the space industry is through SATCOM. India holds great promise for consuming this service as the services become more and more freely available and prices become competitive. I'm sure the SIA's involvement as an industry voice will be crucial to the development of the sector as new technologies evolve and make SATCOM a household service in the near future. All the best for a successful launch. That's a message from Mr. Shashi Bhushan, the Chairman, Managing Director of Antrik. And thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, we've also received a message from Mr. K. Ratnakara, the Director, SATCOM PO Headquarters, ISRO. I'll just read out his message for all of you. You can see on your screens. It's my privilege and pleasure to be part of the occasion wherein the SATCOM Association India is coming to existence. I'm delighted to know that the SATCOM industries have got together to form an association in India. It is timely and appropriate as India has opened up the space sector for the larger participation of the industry. From the humble beginning, ISRO has developed the technologies and capabilities for realization of satellites, launch vehicles, and various payloads. It has leveraged the benefits of space for national development as well as citizens of India through a wide range of applications. Satellite systems have been brought into operations in the areas of communication, navigation, remote sensing, and space science. In this endeavor, ISRO involved a large number of industries to be part of various projects for delivery of systems and solutions with stringent specifications. Thus, today, we see matured industry with a lot of potential to contribute at a larger scale to both national and global requirements on their own strengths. In the recent times, we are seeing tremendous advancements in technology and applications that demand a larger satellite capacity at affordable and competitive price points, especially the high throughput satellites and NGSO systems would bring substantial capacity by effective utilization of spectrum resources. The applications like direct-to-home broadband, communication on the move, IFMC, IoT are expected to drive the SATCOM sector. The regulatory regimes are being revised to have enabling mechanisms in place for the industry to bring cutting-edge technologies and new-age applications. I believe SIA India would play an important role to steer the SATCOM industry in India with professional support. Ultimately, the benefits should reach the common man at an affordable cost, which is the intent of the government too. I wish the association a great success in all its endeavors towards realization of its mission to address the challenges of the industry and creating an enabling business environment in India. That was a message, ladies and gentlemen, from Mr. K. Ratnakara, Director of SATCOM, your headquarters, ISRO. And we've also received the messages from eminent persons from across the globe who are representing the International Satellite Association. We have messages from Artihola Meni, the Secretary General of the European Satellite Operations Association, who has been the Secretary General since 2004. She's a member of the World Economic Forum's Global Future Council on Space Technology, Global 5G Coalition Network, and Essential Digital Infrastructure and Services Network. We also have the message from Mr. David Meltzer, the Secretary General, GVF, who has more than 25 years of experience in the satellite industry, including serving as a board member for the regional satellite operator and mobile satellite operator. Also from Mr. Tony Azzarelli, from the CEO and founder of Azura Telecom Limited, a very senior professional with a significant international experience in advocacy, regulatory affairs, market access, and government relations. And ladies and gentlemen, we also received video messages from various international satellite community members. We have a message from Mr. Gautam Sharma, who is the MD of Inmarsat India, the mobile satellite company. As you all might be knowing that he's presently focused on the introduction of Inmarsat's global express services, the gold standard satellite mobile broadband communications over India, powered by the company's fifth gen of mobile satellites. We've also received the message from Mr. Rajdeep Singh Gohil. He from AsiaSat. He is the Senior Sales Director, South Asia, Asia Satellite Telecommunications Company Limited. And also a video message from Mr. Ingvar Herdland, the Director of Business Development and Pacific Satellite International. Again, someone who has extensive experience in the hospitality sector and also the smart house systems. So we just play the messages, the congratulatory and good wishes messages which we have received from all of them.
Good morning, friends. Thank you for inviting me to serve on the SIA India Advisory Panel and for giving me the opportunity to say a few words to you today. Let me start by congratulating SIA India on its launch. India has proved itself on the global stage as a spacefaring nation to be reckoned with, manufacturing satellites, launching foreign satellites into space, various space exploration initiatives, and even plans to send Gaganauts into space. There is no question that what India sets out to do with space, it will achieve sooner or later. But to my mind, the value of satellites in space has to go beyond Indian pride, competitiveness, and geopolitics. For any nation, the ultimate value of technological progress has to be in the difference it makes to society as a whole. And that is a statement that rings even more true in the post-COVID world. India is known for its space sector, but sadly also for its poverty and the huge disparities between rich and poor. Our sector can directly address major societal issues such as lack of education, access to healthcare, and all the opportunities that having ICTs can bring. By setting up SIA India, the sector now has a platform with which to amplify its voice and call on its administration to leverage its homegrown capabilities to turn the country and its image on the global stage around. I have been running the EMEA Satellite Operators Association, ISOA, for the last 16 years, and I know very well the impact that coming together and speaking with one voice can have. Space might be cool, but it's also niche. People don't know how it touches their lives. Satellite communications might enable transformational connectivity, but the sector is tiny compared with mobile operators. Without a unified effort to amplify the sector's voice, the sector will not be able to play its rightful role, and worse still, it risks being marginalized as access to satellite spectrum is eroded and given to mobile operators to support vendors who want to see 5G rolled out everywhere, rather than making sure that everyone in India has access to robust and reliable 4G. In my experience, associations often see an opportunity to lobby for funding. But I see the setup of SIA India as the first step in a call to action to the Indian administration to prioritize the needs of its disadvantaged communities. We are the only sector that can light up the darkest corners of India's connectivity map and give a voice to the millions who are today on the wrong side of the digital divide. In view of the COVID experience, the timing could not be better to come together through SIA. Whether we think of e-health, e-learning, or even giving farmers the opportunity to check, is it worth driving my truck of valuable crops to the nearest town? None of this is going to be possible without public support and without a unified call to action from the industry. Together, you have the power to make the invisible world of satellites and space visible to policymakers and citizens. With lunar probes and Gaganauts, India wants to show its capabilities on the global stage. But what about showing that India is the one country that can make pioneering use of its satellite capabilities to actually bridge its digital divide and bring healthcare and education throughout the country? Indian projects like EduSat showed what can be done. Let SIA India now call for the scaling up of such projects across every village and the protection of satellite spectrum to enable the continued growth of this industry, which is unique in its ability to spread the benefits of ICTs evenly across the Indian population. I wish SIA India every luck in its endeavor and look forward to collaborating with you closely in the future. Thank you. Namaste.
Hello, I'm David Meltzer, the Secretary General of GVF, the world's only global trade association for the satellite industry. The opportunities for the satellite industry in India have long been great, but a confluence of developments makes today a critical opportunity for the satellite industry, and it is particularly important that the vibrant communications satellite ecosystem in India be represented before the highest government levels for policymaking, regulatory, and licensing matters. To that end, and on behalf of GVF and its global membership, I'm particularly pleased to welcome the establishment of the Satcom Industry Association of India. As recently noted by BIS Research, the Indian satellite market has grown tremendously over the last few years, with launches of hundreds of satellites. Today is a perfect time for companies in India to enter the space and satellite industry as demand for small satellites and mega constellations grows. The Indian government's Make in India manufacturing initiative is driving much of the opportunities for the space sector in India. And led by ISRO, India has announced a mission to land on the moon and human spaceflight. These initiatives are greatly influencing the opportunities for the satellite industry in India. These positive developments within India are mirrored by positive developments around the world. With the advent of the 5G network of networks, immense opportunities for the satellite industry exist to provide needed communications to people and businesses in remote communities, businesses and governments needing always there, always on communications links with far-flung offices and operations, and objects requiring constant monitoring in the form of the Internet of Things. Similarly, the continued deployment of 4G networks in India and around the world is fueling an explosion of demand for connectivity as mobile devices are used to transmit and receive data, voice, and particularly video, often brought by satellite. Finally, satellites serving the direct-to-home market in India are seeing a significant increase in demand of late. SIA's Indian mission of providing a platform for thought leadership, representing the Indian satellite industry before government, and collaborating to provide inputs from many stakeholders is a welcome development in the continued growth of the Indian satellite industry. On behalf of GVF's global membership representing the entire satellite ecosystem, congratulations and welcome to SIA India.
Hello everyone, I'm Rajdeep, Head of South Asia Business at AsiaSat. We are very delighted to convey our best wishes on the inauguration of Satcom Industry Association India. Indian satellite industry has made monumental progress in the space infrastructure technologies. We expect that the Satcom applications will significantly contribute into the next phase of growth in digital India and its grand plan to becoming $5 trillion economy. We are with these expectations that the association will bring together best in kind of systems, services, and talent to promote the Satcom industry in India. With that, I wish you all the very best and congratulations to entire team of the Satcom Industry Association. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Dear friends and industry colleagues, space sector is undergoing transformation globally as well as in India. Recently, the Honorable Finance Minister announced opening up of the space sector, which was followed by a draft SATCOM policy which was released by Department of Space. There can't be a more appropriate time to have a satellite industry body which becomes a unified voice for the satellite industry. I wish Satellite Association of India the very best.
Greeting members, it's with great pleasure I have accepted to be an advisor for the Satcom Industry Association, SIA India. So, what is my background? Going back to my academic career, I studied microwave and satellite communication. My work has taken me to many places, including 4 years in India. I work with both terrestrial communication and satellite systems. I'm now based in Hong Kong, where I work with a system integrator into several areas of communication, including satellite systems. While there have been a revolution the last decade in terrestrial systems like mobile phone, we now see a similar trend for the satellite systems. As the costs are going down, new applications will appear and expanding into areas in our daily life. This will require stronger coordination and collaboration across technology and regulatory bodies. I will be very happy to support this association and hope that I can be useful for advice and suggestion. Thank you, and to everybody, stay healthy.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Tony Azzarelli, Director and co-founder of the Access Space Alliance, and I'm pleased to provide this testimonial today to the launch of the Satcom Industry Association of India. Like the Access Space Alliance, which is a global organization, the SIA works to serve the emerging of small satellite companies which need sharing of experience and expertise in the field of financing, manufacturing, insurance, launchers, licensing, spectrum access, legal matters, and more. The Access Space Alliance welcomes the establishment of the SIA and looks for active cooperation with the SIA and especially in the new space and small satellite domains. Best wishes from us all at the Access Space Alliance, and we hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.
you to all of them for their very guiding and advisory and supporting and encouraging message. It means a lot to everyone who's associated with SIA India. As all of them rightly said, that SIA India today has a very responsible role to play towards the welfare of its people and towards achieving the sustainable development goals, also towards putting India on the world stage of the satellite communications industry. And as was also reflected by one of our esteemed speaker, the setting up of SIA India is a very positive development. It is in harmony with India's digital India movement and also making India a $5 trillion economy. So thank you once again to all of them for their very congratulatory, encouraging messages. And ladies and gentlemen, as we now are almost to draw curtains to this inaugural ceremony which we've had, I would like to invite Mr. Ravi Aliavadi, Director and Board Member, SIA India, for his words of thanks to all. Someone who has more than 40 years of extensive experience in almost every facet of IT and telecom industry, media, satellite, healthcare, fintech business, and who has played a very important role in representing Material Global Communications in South Asia. I request him for posing a vote of thanks.
Namaskar. My name is Ravi Aliavadi. It's a very matter of a lot of emotions and special moment today. With the formation of SIA, it's a long dream we have been aspiring for. The satellite industry has been very alive in India for many, many decades. But it has been under the clutches of the government, and recent announcements by the finance minister has led opportunity for all of us who are sitting in here on the web and across the industry, that the opportunity has been opened up, and the formation of SIA at this juncture will make room for representing the voice of unified voice of the industry. Since it's the first formation of SIA, the list is pretty long. My first gratitude goes to none other than the Government of India, the Finance Minister, the PMO, the PM, the Honorable PM, who thought of taking out the satellite industry and putting them on a platform of privatization so that the competition exists and we perform to best of our abilities. Many speakers came in, but I think the first thanks goes to Dr. Rao, our guiding force, our first president of the association. Dr. Rao in his address has very clearly mentioned that this association is non-profitable. We're not sitting in here to aspire to some funding as expressed or hinted by Ms. Manning, that the aim of the associations is to sometimes aspire for funding. That's not the attitude. That's not our mandate either. We are here to represent the industry, and under the guidance and the superlative guidance of our president, we shall take a pattern successfully across India and across globe. My other thanks goes to all the various speakers who have consentfully sent the various audio messages, various letters to us, namely one by one, if I take them. Mr. Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General, ITU. Then we had the message from Dr. V.K. Saraswat, Mr. K. Shashibhusan, Mr. Kirtan Nakara. Then we had messages from Ms. Aarti Oila, Mr. David Meltzer, Mr. Tony Arzweli, Sangor Harland. Then there were messages from the industry, Gautam Sharma, Rajiv Govil. See, all these messages had one thing very common: the expectations, the aspiration this industry has been aspiring for. Everybody has said the timing, the potential, and the market that exists. And that is where the industry, as an SIA, as an association, our responsibility increases. Our responsibility to fulfill the expectations of each and every one, to take the right cause of the industry at the right forum and ensure that we have a seamless operations, and we also withdraw or help the industry take out all the glitches that may come across from time to time while moving ahead. Thanks to all of them for participating, for sending the messages to us, for encouraging us. I can only assure each of them that we shall not leave any stone unturned to ensure that we represent the right cause of the industry. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, the speech will not be, or the expression will not be fulfilled if I don't express my personal, on behalf of the SIA, the gratitude to Anil Prakash and his team, who have relentlessly spent days together to form this organization, and we've been only supporting them, but the taste of the pudding is in the eating. The pudding is on the table, and thanks Anil, thanks all the team, thanks everybody. And I think the task ahead is challenging, and we all are there to support. And as a unified industry, we shall succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, something which was wished, something which was envisioned, is today a reality. So, thank you once again for your participation, for your congratulatory message, for your well wishes, for your guidance. And with that, we come to the close of this very special ceremony. Thank you indeed. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
So I think we can also have a group program for all the team present from SIA India here.
Thank you, everybody. We can stop and leave the meeting. The recorded message of this entire ceremony will be shared with you via Google Drive link from the Secretariat. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.